New midnight class changes, 22nd of January. What's up guys, Petko here. Finally, the weekly class changes arrive, and with that, a lot of balancing is gonna be shifting around. But today, we're gonna take a look, we're gonna comment, and yeah, we're gonna pretty much see what's up with that. Alright, moving forward to the very first pick of the game, DK. There's been some hot fixes for Rider Frost DK. Outside of this, nothing major really, which is actually a great thing. Unholy DK also has been getting some buffs. Now keep in mind, last week they've got nerf again for the second time in a row. Now it seems like a lot of damage is shifted towards diseases. Necromancer and explosion damage increased by 100%. Vertiline Plague increased poison a bit. Cloaking Shadow has been nerfed, but again, Super Strain has been buffed as well. This is going to be definitely a net positive change for Unholy, although I wouldn't count to be a big one. We're going to be testing everything we said today on stream, however. Devourer DH, too long to read. TLDR, they're not happy how Collapsing Star works out, and they're trying to change the change around it. So Collapsing Star has been updated, no longer consumes the required souls at the start of its cast. Now has a 5-second cooldown and triggers its cooldown at the start of its cast. Okay. This might make Devourer actually quite good as well, because there's been a lot of bugs surrounding Collapsing Star. One of the most annoying bugs was, let's say whenever you cast Collapsing Star and you have to move because you already started the cast, it consumes all the souls and then you cannot cast it again if you move or stop the cast, which is the most annoying stuff. So I'm really happy that they have actually changed it. Also generates less threat. That's good. You're not gonna pull aggro all the time. Yeah, let me just see what it said here. Wanna plotting execution club staff for meaningful power with maximizing Devourer and DH Hunter, but we agree that there is too much tension surrounding the ability which should feel exciting to Epic. As such, we are collaborating collapsing staff to not only consume the stacks when the cast is completed. Okay, so once the cast is completed, we're also adding an eternal cooldown on collapsing staff to prevent edge cases where players may want to cast and cancel collapsing staff repeatedly to extend their void metamorphosis variation. Oh, I didn't know that's possible. Cooldown will trigger when Collapsing Star begins its cast. I'll go with these changes to make Collapsing Star more forgiving when cancelling the towards movement. Okay. Yes, pretty much that's a quality of life update. No buffs, however. But we're gonna try today. Druid, Keeper of the Groove, some hot fixes. Also, Windstoker has been buffed, I believe, for both Pharaoh and the Restoration Druid. Some bug fixes as well. Balance Druid has been buffed. Solar Bolt, Lunar Bolt increased. Dancing of the Dream, which is only played in single target, got buffed. Power of Goldrune, another single target, got buffed. Meteorite. So the reason why they nerf Meteorites is because people used to cast Starfall on single target because Meteorites did so much damage. Starfall was netting more damage per cast than Star Surge. So I told you guys that's no way they're gonna keep it this way. They're gonna buff Star Surge instead. They just nerfed Meteorites. Fine. They buffed Rat. They buffed Starfire. Gave you a 6% aura buff and a bit of healing as well. So all of these are very positive changes for Balanced Druid. I don't think they are major one to make Balanced Druid like an outstanding pick, but it's definitely a buff in the right direction. We'll definitely be trying Balanced Druid a bit later and see what's up with that one. Pharaoh Druid has been also buffed. There's been some hot fixes on Pharaoh Druid. So they hotfixed the Apex Talons, which pretty much weren't working as correctly because I've already reported they just didn't work. Plain and simple. So we're gonna try that later. Focus Frenzy increased damage of Pharaoh Frenzy by 20% was 40. Okay, so Pharaoh Frenzy got nerfed. That used to hit really hard. Cat Swipe damage increased by 20%. Okay. This is actually a problem because Swipe did so much damage that sometimes you would ignore all the abilities just to use Swipe. And now they're buffing Swipe again. This makes no sense. They should have buffed Rake. Now, in order to use it, like right now, Rake ability is one of your core abilities. It is not used raw because it's so undertuned that your Swipe does so much more damage than Rake. So there's no point of pressing it even. And they haven't addressed it. Instead, they doubled down and increased the Swipe damage even more and just gave you an aura above 8%. This is actually very, very lazy tuning. I don't like this. This is very bad still. Pharaoh needs more. Keep in mind, Pharaoh got 20% aura buff and it was still dog shit. Now they got 8 plus Swipe buff, and also they got a nerfed Focus Frenzy. However, because of a complete hotfix of the Apex Talons, Pharaoh now might do actual damage. We're gonna take a look, okay? We're gonna be trying it today. Evoker. Fire Breath instant plus periodic damage should now be consistent at all Empire ranks with all combinations of Fire Breath affecting talents. Okay, not sure what they're trying to say with this one. But okay. Also, you're gonna see all of the off healing being increased to match the current health, so you're gonna be healing more with your off healing abilities, which is actually fine. Okay. That's about for Evoker. Augmentation Evoker, off healing increased, and some quality of life updates. Nothing in regards to power. Don't worry about it. Augmentation still the same. Devastation, same thing. Only off healing buffs. Nothing in regards to power. Hotfixes on Beastmaster Hunter. Very minimal one. Those are just whatever. Hotfixes, it seems like, also on Frost Mage. That's about it. No power changes there as well. Windwalker Monk. Finally, after a month and a half of dreadful experience, they are making Windwalker Monk better. A round of updates is targeting a few underperforming and overperforming talents, increasing Windwalker's AoE damage, tweaking the Rising Sunking damage contribution in single target versus Fist of Fury, and adjusting its chi economy in a few ways to be smoother experience. So they're nerfing Fist of Fury. So Fist of Fury was pretty much everything for your AoE damage, like everything. So they nerfed that one by 10%. Very weird way to start the changes, okay? Rising Sun Kick increased by 20%. That's better single target. Spinning Crane Kick increased by 50%. Okay, so Spinning Crane Kick might not be a useless button now. We're gonna be testing with Mocha today, but that's a pretty sizable buff, 50%. Jade Fire Stomp, you don't play that anyway, doesn't really matter. Flurry of Zuen damage increased by 40%. Okay, it's still gonna do 0 damage, by the way. It needs like at least 200% buff from that ability. Airborne Return gives you only 1 chi instead of 2. Rushing Wind Kick no longer has a chi cost. That's great, by the way. I was playing this build anyway, that's good. Sunfire Spiral now increases mastery combo strikes by 40%. It was 20. Oh, that's good. Universal Energy increases magical damage done by 8% 50. Okay, what the fuck? Wait a second. They nerfed your magical damage done by 7%, and they also nerfed Fist of Fury. To me, that sounds like a redistribution of power. Okay, I mean, it's still gonna be a buff, probably. Kind of weird. Member of the Monastery increases combo breaker effect chance by 75% and increases target pump damage by 30. That's gonna be a must-own, by the way. Communion with the Wind also got buffed, and Packer's Brook, which is your Apex talent, also got updated. Now only reduced its stacks down to 10 while out of combat in a raid instance, and now grants 10 stacks or reduce stacks down to 10 at the counter start at Mythic Plus start. Okay. Alright. I mean, this overall should be a better single target for sure on Windwalker Monk. And also probably a better AoE as well, but not by a lot, because they nerfed your Fist of Fury and also they nerfed the magical damage done. Okay, we're gonna be trying it out. Holy Paladin, seems like a lot of changes here for Holy Paladin. Light of Dawn healing effect is now capped at 5 targets, but healing increased by 10. Better for Mythic Plus, worse for it, seems like. Liberation causes 12% of Word of Glory and healing, Light of Dawn healing to be transferred. Beacon Saver now functions with Commanding Light, Beacon of Light, and Moment of Compassion. Hammer of Wrath now costs the same amount of mana as Judgment. Great. Hammer and Anvil and healing now increased by Mastery Lightbringer, but healing reduced by 30. Huh. Holy Light buff by 25. I'm not sure if that's actually a nerf or a buff. If any Holy Paladin main is here, need to take a look. And also a bunch of spells added to the Cura Manager. Okay, that's about it. A bit of off-healing buffs here for Retribution Paladin. Haste now correctly reduces global cooldown. Templar Strike, Templar Flash, doesn't really matter. Seems like Imperial Power was proccing more in AoE. They changed this one. And also some hotfixes on behalf of Divine Toe. That's all. Priest. Discipline Priest is getting a nerf of Atonement. That's around 10% nerf on Atonement. No. Yeah. 10% nerf on Atonement. That's fine. Searing Light applies a damage over time if it equals to 20% of your penance damage, was 30. So they're nerfing the HPS of this priest. Shadow Fin chance increased by 100% with 40, okay. Twisting Penance no longer applies to allies. Shadow Ment healing increased to 45. Borrow Time now grants you more haste than before. Borrow Time and Harsh Discipline has swapped locations, okay. Alright, boys, that's all for this. Seems like less HPS overall. Nerf Disc Priest. Shadow Priest, just some bullshit adjustments of healing. Hotfixes on Fate-bound Hero Talent for Rogue. Also, as a Rogue, Fate Intervene increased the percentage damage by Cost Expire by 5%. Okay, so they nerfed Fate-bound as a Rogue. Is that it? Oh no, they nerfed probably as a Rogue in general. Maybe not. No, actually, it's Fate-bound as a Rogue was nerfed. But they buff Fate-bound coin by 10%. Doesn't matter. Asa didn't play Fate-bound anyway, for the most part. Outlaw Fate-bound also got nerfed. Doesn't matter. You don't play Fate-bound Asa, you play Trickster. Asa Rogue. All damage increased by 10%. Amazing buff for Asa Rogue. But Ghosting Spider causes 15% of your nature damage to hit nearby enemies was 35. Wow. Okay, hold on. Wait. Ghosting Spider was like #1 damage ability by far. And they nerfed it significantly. Wow, this actually might be a nerf to Asa Rogue, by the way. I don't think this is a buff. This might be... Okay, this might be Asa Rogue's single target buff, but a significant nerf in AoE. Again, it's pretty early in the morning. It's like 9:20 in the morning. I might be wrong on that one. I need to check out Rogue Discord to confirm. But this sounds to me like a single target buff plus massive AoE nerf on Asa Rogue. And nothing in regards about their energy gen, by the way. Nothing. Okay. Outlaw Rogue, 15% out above, by the way. Oh, but they nerfed Blade Flurry by what? 27%? 26%? So 26, 27% less AoE from Blade Flurry, but also they buffed single target. So pretty much like what? Like 8% less single 8%. Sorry. I twisted my tongue. 8% less AoE for 15% more single target. That might not be a bad deal, by the way. Menacing Rush increases AR damage bonus and effective ability by 20%. Okay. A bit of buff during AR. That's good. Heightened Rush increases Adrenaline Rush duration by 4 seconds was 3. But they nerfed your tier set a bit. Okay. They fixed the precision shot tooltip. Correctly damage percentage increase of 20% is now shown. That's just a tooltip, by the way. Huh. What do you guys think about? I think that's actually not bad change for Outlaw, because single target was pretty bad. They buffed it by 15%, plus some additional small buffs here, but they nerfed Blade Flurry by like what? Like 25, 30% give or take Blade Flurry nerf? I think like 25, 27%. Okay. That's all. I think that's... I mean, we're going to be trying it today. Elu Shaman, some healing buffs, enhanced healing. Nothing for enhanced Elu, only just like off healing, that's it. Warlock, Hound duration, that's already been active, by the way. This is already active on the bet, it doesn't matter. Only 1 Hound per turn, that's fine. And some hotfixes on Dimlock. And Apex talent changes on Destruction. Casting Killsbolt, Shadowburn, or Rain of Fire evokes Echo of Dark Titan by 50, 50, or 60. Okay. How much was it before, by the way? I remember something had 70%, right? This might be a direct nerf to Chaos Bolt, because I think Chaos Bolt had like a higher percentage chance for your Ember of the Nihilium to proc. I could be wrong, by the way. Could be wrong. That's it. Warrior, next, they're buffing Colossus demolish damage by 33%. But they're nerfing Colossus might. Okay, so nobody played Colossus anyway. Neither Fury nor Arms played Colossus. Wait, hold on. Fury cannot play Colossus. This might be a Prot Warrior angle. I'm not sure actually. But definitely Arms do not play with Colossus. Definitely. Speaking about Arms. Apex Talents, Master of Warfare, chance for Slam to be upgraded for Heroic Strike increased by 50%. So a lot more slams. Or, I guess, Heroic Strikes. But Heroic Strike now reduces the cooldown of Close Smash by 2 seconds, was 5 before. That's fine. So that means pretty much you gotta optimize your Super Strikes again. Master Tactician increased Tactician chance to trigger by 5%, was 10% before. That's nerf, by the way, the nerf is twice already. Battle Lord now also reduces the rage cost of your next heroic strike by 33%. I think you were overcapping on rage anyway, that doesn't really matter. Alright, I'm not sure. I think that overall should be a buff to Iron's Warrior, but like very tiny buff maybe. On net neutral change, I would say a redistribution of power perhaps. Probably. And last but not least, Fury Warrior. It seems to be getting a buff. Your 4 set now is gonna trigger Odin Fury a lot more often. So you're gonna have Odin Fury maybe twice per pack, which actually should be a small buff on Fury Warrior AoE. Anyway, guys, that's everything so far. Let me know what you guys think about the changes. I think personally there's been some good and interesting ones, but nothing really touches the top tier specs like S tier specs. However, we've seen an attempt of Blizzard to try to buff the underperformers. Anyway, follow for more as always, like and subscribe to the video to grow my hair, and I'll see you guys on stream to be testing everything. Peace out.